Hey guys, it's Saturday here on Pagan Perspective. I am your host Brendan, and this week we are talking about stereotype magic and the witches that believe it. So the question this week comes from Tyler. I will put all the information in the bottom section below. But Tyler's pretty much asking us if the stereotypes that are currently in the media, so things like the Harry Potter witches and wizards and the wizarding world, Charmed, Buffy, The Craft, Practical Magic, all those sort of pop culture magic stereotypes, and also those like in the stories of books where witches turn people into toads and fly on broomsticks and all that sort of stuff. Whether we personally believe that sort of stuff, or have we interacted with people that, like pagans that is, that believe that is the actual real way of doing magic. I think this comes down to a lot of research and history and folklore and kind of digging beneath the surface. So scratching away the glamorous, over-exaggerated practices and ideals that are like the upper level sort of thing. So flying on the broomstick sort of thing can be seen as practices that were like flying ointment being anointed to besoms, and that then creating a hallucinogenic effect that would then send the witch flying, really. And they would go into a spirit flight sort of thing. Looking at things like Charmed and the Power of Three, that sort of thing. I posted that video on my channel because I missed it here. But looking at that, so all those spells and potions that they create, pretty much banishing negativity, evil, a whole plethora of demons and all that sort of stuff. But constantly they were all coming back. So really, what can we learn from that? So I think it would be really working with shadow work and working with ourselves and looking at what is good and evil, air quotes, good and evil. And really kind of how do we engage that balance within the world. Things that you might look at would be like Buffy, the whole entire Slayer, saving the world, which is really a story about empowerment, and that through strife and trouble and one girl essentially stolen away and no, probably spoiler alerts here, I'm just putting it out there, but pretty much having demon soul fused into her essence so that she would be a weapon that could then defeat the demons and the vampires and the big bad sort of thing. And it was all really that through that essentially like an assault through that sort of process gained power, and it was really about her story, about finding her power and not being held back by the captors, really, like the Watchers and all that sort of stuff, but really embracing and breaking the cycle. And that's magic. That's really this continuous cycle that creates insanity and continues to repeat itself. It's witches that come through and then break those cycles. So like Willow in the last live action series or season of Buffy essentially broke that Slayer tradition of it. There's one born every generation sort of thing, and it was changed, and the potentials all became Slayers, and it was really working with power. But I think I've gone on a tangent from what this topic about is. I think it's really talking to people about why they think these thoughts. So whether witches can really fly on brooms, or we can turn people into toads, or we can cast a spell with our wand and summon out a Patronus. What's to say that we can't do any of that stuff? It might not be something that we can do in this physical plane. It might be something that we can do in the astral. So whether we do energetic work, spirit flight, dream work, trance, meditation, all that sort of stuff, there's ways to kind of encapsulate and work with that magic. And I think it's a great entryway into what is real practice. And then again, I'm going to I say real practice, but that isn't any less valid of a practice than what there is out there now. So a lot of chaotic magics and pop culture magics and all that sort of stuff. I think it's a great entry point, and really, for me, Charmed and Buffy and The Craft were all kind of my witchcraft entry points. And it was then that I got deeper into the practice that I looked at things like ritual and trance and divination and working with essences and potions and incense and plant magic and animal magic and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's really, how can you take it beyond the stereotype? How do we unpack that, take it away from the box, and embrace the witch as this wild, cunning folk person, and really encompass that sort of ideal or archetype that we want to work with? And I think it's just having conversations. It's really engage that. And I think there's no harm in someone thinking that is what witches do, and it might be what they do in their practice. It might be the way that they can switch their conscious mind into their practice state. So they might go don their Ravenclaw robes, get out their replica Luna Lovegood wand, put on their special glasses and all that sort of stuff. And they're doing their ritual prep and really getting themselves in the mindset of doing magic. And then they might have spells from the books, or they might start writing their own. They might start looking into Latin and some of those languages to start crafting spells. And they might take inspiration from the potions class and start creating things, or herbology and that sort of stuff. So I think it can be a wonderful access point to deeper magics. And yeah, I think it can be encouraged. It can also be, I think wisdom and knowledge and experience all come into play in this. And really, if that's how someone engages their magic, then that's how they do it. And it's amazing and wonderful. And I do love me a bit of pop culture magic. So I'm totally happy and down to be engaged in all of that sort of stuff. And kind of now really want to go write like a Harry Potter themed ritual. Not sure what for, but maybe I can bottle luck. We'll see. But I think that's it for this week. So I hope you all have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week, I believe. So for now, much love and blessings. Mwah.